Hello, YouTube, and what is up? My name is Ben Warney, aka MisterMetronome, and we are here for an Ikoria Premiere Draft. As we're getting started here, remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment in the comments section. Any and all of that helps the cast out. This video is being recorded about a week after the formats come out. This is Thursday, April 23rd. Lots of stuff has been happening in this format. So excited to dive in here with you and see what we can do. So pack one, pick one. Slither Wisp is an option. Black, black, blue, 3/2 flash. Whenever you cast another spell that has flash, you draw a card and each opponent loses one life. Do you think this card's powerful and probably the pick out of this pack? Other good cards in the pack that stand out: Unbreakable Bond. There is a Reanimator deck in the format that you can do where you cycle Unbreakable Sandworms or the large Space Godzilla or T-Rex and try to reanimate them. That's a cool package you can put in your deck. Lead the Stampede goes well in a mutate deck with a really high creature count. 18, 19 creatures, what you're shooting for. Essence Scatter is the best common in this pack. This card is really overperformed in the format. And then the other thing that's the new hotness is the cycling deck. That deck is busted, best deck in the format, and these 1-mana cyclers are really high picks. That being said, we're going to stick with Slither Wisp here as I think the best card in the pack, and just maybe be willing to move off it depending on what comes. Whoa. All right, so we got decision time here. Skycat Sovereign's very good. Blue-white, 1/1 flying. It gets +1/+1 for each other creature you control with flying. And 2 white-blue create a 1/1 white catbird creature token with flying. Very powerful. Would be interesting to try to build like a base blue-black splashing Skycat Sovereign deck. However, there's Zenith Flare here. This is the best uncommon in the set, in my opinion. 2 red-white, instant, deals X damage to any target, and you gain X life, where X is the number of cards with a cycling ability in your graveyard. So somebody took an uncommon over Zenith Flare. I think, if that's true, I think they probably made an incorrect choice, in my opinion, based on where I've got the cards ranked. Commons here are all pretty bad. We would be hoping very much to wheel Frostveil Ambush out of this pack. So I'm going to take Zenith Flare here and see if we can show you all what the cycling deck is about, because it's very powerful. And literally this card means if we want to force it, we could force the cycling deck. Now this is the best card, most important card for the deck. Okay. So this pack is interesting. Zagoth Mama's here. This card has underperformed a little bit in the mutate decks. When it's good, it's very good. When you get the mutate trigger and you kill something that matters, but a lot of times you aren't killing anything, or the thing you're killing just doesn't matter in the course of the game. 1-mana cycler. This is in our top 3 white commons. These 1-mana cyclers are all very good. I think Snare Tactician's the best white common, followed by this Drannith Healer, Pacifism. Probably Pacifism before the 1-mana cyclers, but Pacifism has gone down for me in the format. There's matchups where it just is not good. It's certainly the most flexible white common, but cycling is what white does best. Another Essence Scatter here. I'm just going to take this Vantasaur, I think, and bias my picks towards the Zenith Flare here. All right. Blood Curdle's still in the pack. So there's a rare, an uncommon, and a common missing. Blood Curdle is very good, but Drannith Singer is also very good in the cycling deck. And I'm not really drafting correctly right now. I mean, you could make a case one way or the other. So there's a world where we draft responsibly. We take the blue-white rare, we take an Essence Scatter, we take a Blood Curdle here, and we're on track to have a very good blue-black control deck. But I think the ceiling on the cycling deck is high enough, and I think enough people aren't drafting it yet or aren't prioritizing these 1-mana cyclers enough that we're gonna be able to get there. I also think there's a world where, you know, if you're thinking, like, a lot of people have free draft tokens right now, stuff like that, although those are for best of 3, I think. We're in best of 1. Okay. Interesting pack here. So looking like we potentially are getting cut out of the cycling deck, which is maybe a signal like the Blood Curdle was still in the pack there that we should have paid attention to. I'm still of the mind that we can get there. We'll have to see. So Of One Mind is a good card here. Easy Prey, 1 black, cycling 2, destroy target creature with converted mana cost 2 or less. This is probably going to be my pick because it's going to go in our cycling deck and it's also going to go in our Slither Wisp deck. And I think it's just the best card in the pack here. It's close with Skull Prophet. Nothing really particularly exciting here. So let's take Easy Prey and see where we go. All right. There's a memory leak here, so we're getting back on track for the cycling. 1 mana cycler. We also have outs to just be... There's also like a very good black-red deck that takes advantage of these 1 mana cyclers. So in the format, you can sort of think about cycling as a macro archetype, and then there being different versions of cycling decks. There's black-white cycling, there's red-white cycling, there's blue-red cycling, there's white-blue cycling. And all of those decks start to come together by picking these 1 mana cyclers highly. Like, so for example, this is my 3rd best black common, and I could even see it pushing into the 2nd best black commons ahead of Deadweight. Bloodcurdle being number 1. Okay. So red is looking like it's dried up fairly heavily here, and we're regretting passing that Bloodcurdle. But I think just to potentially have the option to get into the cycling deck, it's worth it. So we could take another Easy Prey here. We could take a Cavern Whisperer. In black-red, I've been pretty impressed with the Cavern Whisperer. We have no cheap enablers for it yet, though. So I think for right now, I'm going to take Easy Prey and try to toe the line on the cycling deck that we could still get into with our Zenith Flare. All right. This is our... No, this is not quite the wheel yet. So I'm going to take Scoured Barrens here as a nod to potentially splashing Zenith Flare in a black-red deck. It looks like that might be where we're headed. Blade Banish has impressed in the format so far. I think you can happily main deck the first copy of this, and I definitely, in best of 3, would want access to more out of the sideboard. Sanctuary Smasher has been pretty underwhelming for me. I like this card less than Lava Serpent, which is the 5 and a red 5/5 haste. All right, so Unbreakable Bond wheeled. I think this card should not be wheeling, in my opinion. So we're going to take this here and look to pick up large monsters that cycle. And I think at this point we are almost certainly going to be playing base black and just have a cycling sub-theme in our deck. And we will still probably play this Zenith Flare. Also, depending on what comes, we might just move into straight blue-black with the Slither Wisp. Depending on, what late flash cards we pick up, things like that. We want better flash cards than Crustacean, though. So really all we've missed out on for the chance... Ooh, we did wheel Frostveil Ambush. That gives me hope that cycling is open, or that either that or the people that are drafting it don't know how important the cycling 1 cards are to the deck. This card should not be wheeling, in my opinion. And also will go well if we end up in blue-black. We'll just happily play it and lower our land count as a cycler. This Bloodfell Caves would be nice, but we can't pass Frostveil Ambush. This is interesting. Again, we want Bloodfell Caves, and we want Cloud Piercer, and we want Cathartic Reunion. I like all of these cards. I think I'm going to take Bloodfell Caves. We don't have cheap creatures to mutate onto yet, and I value the dual land pretty highly because I'm not sure what flavor of cycling we're going to be here. It's a late tentative connection. If we do end up being base black-red, this card could do a lot of work in our deck. Wilt as a 2-mana cycler is fine, but oftentimes the breaking point is 1-mana cyclers, and we don't have a ton of cycling payoffs yet, so I think I'm going to take Tentative Connection. And we have yet to see if... Ooh, a late Whisper Squad. That feels great. This card is very good in black-red, also very good in black-white. I think this guy is underrated. I would have made fun of him at the beginning of the format, but I have some respect for the squad now. Unexpected Fangs to the sideboard. And let's see where we go from here. Ooh. All right, so this is an interesting pack. We got a lot of good ones here. Offspring's Revenge goes very well in a black-red or black-white base, like grindy type deck. The 1/1's coming back. You don't even necessarily need the ETBs. You just kind of want the bodies for cards like Bastion of Remembrance and Weaponize the Monsters. Both of those enchantments are very strong in tandem with his rare. There's also Chittering Harvester as one of the best mutate cards in the set. It's not looking like we're headed towards that deck with what we've got going on. So I think I'm going to take Offspring's Revenge. We've got good fixing for it and see if we can maybe get into that deck. And for that deck, we'd be hoping for Forbidden Friendship or Durable Coilbug to wheel out of this pack. Spell Eater Wolverine would also be a fine wheel, but I would expect that to be gone by the time this pack comes around. Starix, great as one of the better mutate payoffs, but we are pretty far away from that. Okay, for us here, this is a pretty bad pack. We can't take advantage of this Tri-land. Looking at Droneth Healer here as a 1 CMC Cycler, something we can cast. We don't know what base colors we're going to be yet, but I do like where this deck is headed. We would be hoping to wheel Mutual Destruction out of this pack. So really all we have missed so far by going hard after the Zenith Flare is that Blood Curdle, I think. Well, you could also make a case that we pass that blue-white rare, but I honestly think that card, it's very powerful. I do think between those two cards, though, going back to pack 1, pick 2, I do think Zenith Flare is better than that blue-white rare. So Droneth Healer in the pile here. And this looks like a total mess, but I promise you it is going to come together and it is going to be beautiful. All right, we're going to take Weaponize the Monsters here. Really want to wheel Durable Coilbug or Memory Leak, but I'm pretty excited about picking this up in tandem with Offspring's Revenge. This is going to be a really sweet brew, I think. So we're needing to pick up a lot of cheap creatures. We need Whisper Squads. We need Forbidden Friendships. We need Durable Coilbugs. But if we get those things, and especially if we get a Bastion of Remembrance, we're going to be in great shape. So let's get Weaponize the Monsters in here. And I think I'm hoping to be base black-red right now. Also got to remember we have this Unbreakable Bond, so we're on the lookout for large monsters. So in that spirit, this is not the worst thing in the world to reanimate with Unbreakable Bond. I like Rumbling Rockslide a lot, and I keep raging about this card going way too late. And I do think it is, but I'm going to be part of the problem, and I'm going to ship it along here. Because if we get in this deck, we're hoping to pick up the Mutual Destruction, which is where you sack a creature and you destroy target creature your opponent controls. We're hoping to pick those up, and we're hoping to have Active Treason sack outlets. So I don't think we need the premium point-and-click removal because we're going to get our removal spells that are a little more setup costy a little bit later. So Sanctuary Smasher in here. I think this Slither Wisp is going by. All right. This is a tough pick. I think we just have to take this on-color Triome. I really want this Droneth Healer, though. Checkpoint Officer would also be very good. It's really strong in tandem with something like Offspring's Revenge, where we don't care about the size of the body, we care about the ability. So either of these would be absolutely fantastic wheels. We would also happily play Deadeye or Cathartic Reunion, I think. So let's get this Triome in. All right, Forbidden Friendship, we're going to happily slam here. That's going to go very well along with our Weaponize the Monsters. Frill Scale Mentor is nice. We're not really menacey, though. We're more attrition-based right now. And Raking Claws would be a fine pickup as well. I just think Forbidden Friendship's better for what we're trying to do right now. All right, Go for Blood is A+ here. This is way too late for Essence Scatter. This is the best blue common by a fair margin, I think. Mutate decks just fold very hard to this card. There are some decks that don't worry about it quite so much, but it's a very, very, very strong card. Again, Deadeye would be fine. We would play it, but I think Go for Blood as a 1-mana cycler here to go along with our Zenith Flare and just a randomly good fight card sometimes is worth picking up. Would like to see some more Whisper Squads. That would go a long way for our deck. Right here, this is between Dark Bargain. Oh, no, never mind. There's a Frostveil Ambush. I didn't see that. So Frostveil Ambush is going to let us play a lower land count. It's going to let us take advantage of... do I want this here? Actually, I'm sort of talking myself into Suffocating Fumes as a card we might actually be able to take advantage of. I don't know. I'm going to take Frostveil Ambush. The cycling deck is not open. We've seen no Snare Tacticians. We've seen no monkeys. So it feels like a lot of people with this pod are fighting over it. But it's odd that we're still getting the 1 CMC Cyclers because there are not that many of these cards. So we are probably train wrecking some other people in our draft while I think our deck is still very good. Blister Spit Gremlin, I don't love here. I don't hate. I could see a world where we end up running that. All right, we did wheel Mutual Destruction. That's a nice pickup. I think we're going to take that over Cathartic Reunion here. I would like a copy of Cathartic Reunion, though, but our second sacrifice outlet after Weaponize the Monsters is going to make this Tentative Connection a lot more reliable. We really are going to be on the lookout for a Bushmeat Poacher. That's the 3 and a black 2/4 where you can pay 1 tap, sacrifice a creature, and you gain life equal to its toughness, I believe. None of these cards matter. We're going to take, I would normally take Blazing Volley for the sideboard, but just in case we want more cyclers for whatever reason that we've pushed enough people off it by taking the 1 CMC cyclers that we get a better pack 3. Ooh, Cathartic Reunion's a great wheel. We're happily going to be playing the first copy of that. This Unbreakable Bond is not looking great in our deck at the moment. I'm going to take a second Cathartic Reunion and potentially play that. So if you look at our deck right now, it looks like a total pile, right? But I think if you're looking at it like it's a total pile, oh man, we didn't wheel into the Coil Bugs. That's a bummer. So we do need some more bodies right now. Like cheap bodies is definitely what we're after. Yadaro's good. I think Fire Prophecy is just too generically powerful to pass here. And we really want to wheel this Durable Coil Bug. I do like Yadaro a fair amount. I just don't think that's what our deck is particularly about. It's close. I mean, 7 mana, 8/8 Trample Haste, but we're hoping to not get to 7 mana, I think. We really want to cap out at 5 for this Offspring's Revenge. I'm going to take Fire Prophecy here. General Kudro is interesting. So we're not particularly human-y, but this is normally very good in the style of deck that we've got here. Just feels like we got to it a little late and or aren't wheeling the key cards. So we could take Sanctuary Smasher to try to combo with our Unbreakable Bond. I'm not convinced that card's going to make our deck at the moment, though. We could take Snare Tactician as a cycling payoff and a human. We could take Day Squad Marshal as 2 bodies. I don't know what to do here. I'm going to take General Kudro and see what happens. There's a world where this ends up being very good in our deck. All right, and now we take General's Enforcer, I think. This is also going to be very good in tandem with Weaponize the Monsters. So our mana is going to be tricky here, and we might actually be true Mardu, which is not something you really want to do in the format. But I think we can make it work, especially with the amount of 1 mana cyclers that we've got. That'll sort of act as pseudo fixing for our deck. So let's take General's Enforcer here. All right, this pack is pretty bad for us other than a Durable Coil Bug. Really would like to get a late Bastion of Remembrance, but it doesn't look like things are going to go that way for us. Ferocious Tigerilla we would play, but I think the cheaper card that recurs is more important to pick up here. Cunning Nightbonder for our blue-black flash deck that might have been, but I'm pretty in on the Coil Bug here. All right, Night Squad Commando is ideal, except we don't really have the curve to support it right now, and we really are missing a Bushmeat Poacher for our deck. That's a key card in this archetype. I think, actually, after picking up the Coil Bug and the General's Enforcer, I'm leaning towards being base black-white now, actually. And I think Night Squad Commando will do fine work for us here as 2 bodies. Reptilian Reflection. This is a hard pick because we have enough cyclers to take advantage of this, but I think we just need Bushmeat Poacher. We also really would like an Evolving Wilds. This is a tough pick. I think I'm going to take Bushmeat Poacher, but this is painful seeing this card at this point. Yeah, I'm going to take Bushmeat Poacher. All right, Tentative Connection or Checkpoint Officer. We really want Checkpoint Officer, I think. We're going to be base white-black now. Tentative Connections would be fine. I'm not sure we're going to be playing the first one. with the way our deck has ended up. Late Essence Scatter here. So our blue deck would have been very strong, I think, for whatever that's worth. That's the cool thing about this format. There's so many decks and so many powerful cards. You can, to a certain extent, late ram through late Essence Scatter. You can, to a certain extent, just say, it's kind of like Cube in that sense. Like you're trying to find, rather than trying to find your color pair, you're trying to find a strategy almost. And there's so many strategies, and there's so many cards that are deep for all those. We're not going to be able to mutate that on anything. I'm going to take Tentative Connection. All right, we wield a Blister Spit Gremlin and a Serrated Scorpion. I don't think we care about any of those cards. Pyroceratops, is that good in our deck? Not if we're going to be base black-white, I don't think. I really wish we had a Bastion of Remembrance. I'm going to take Serrated Scorpion here, I think, actually, to go along with Offspring's Revenge. Wow, another late ram through. All right, Mutual Destruction or Shredded Sails. I think I want another Mutual Destruction. And none of these cards matter. Take another Cathartic Reunion. Probably not playing this main Serval. Another late Mutual Destruction, that's fine. So I do think our deck's going to struggle to close out games a little bit. It's going to be an interesting build. I'll figure out my lands. Thank you very much. All right, so I don't love this package. Can I really not move cards around? Okay. I have to do this the hard way. Normally I like making piles of my 1 CMC cyclers. Okay, so I just can't. All right, so let's get you guys down here. We'll have to do it this way. Oh, we only ended up with the 1 Whisper Squad too. That's a bummer. Even a second one would have gone a long way. We do play the Draina Stinger because it cycles for 1. I like the Easy Praise. We probably only want 1 Cathartic Reunion. We probably have to play this Forbidden Friendship just because we're a little light on creatures. Night Squad Commando, General Kudro, Memory Leak. I think we can cut a Tentative Connection. I like this Bushmeat Poacher. And then we probably run 15 lands with the amount of 1 CMC cyclers we have. So like this goes here. Memory Leak goes here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I guess 6, 7 1 CMC cyclers that we're happy to cycle away as well. I kind of like Blister Spit Gremlin, except we're really are Mardu. All right, so let's get Triomin, Bloodfell Caves, Scoured Barrens. We might have to go up to 16 land just based on sources. We'll have to see with that once we get into this a little bit here. So this is 1, 2 white. I would like to get up to, I don't know, 7 white, I think. So that gives us 7 white. Would like to get up to 8 black. I don't know if we're going to be able to do that. We might just have to go like 7, 7, 7. That's a bit of a yikes. This is 2 red. And then we can go 5 red sources. So this mana base is a pile, but I do think one thing that's not totally evident from this mana base is how deep we're going to be able to get into our deck with cycling and stuff like Fire Prophecy. So I don't think it's actually as terrible as it looks. We're going to see how it plays out in practice though. So reflecting on that draft, I don't think this is the archetype that was open for us. It was so tempting though. I just have a little bit of a bias toward this sacrifice, weaponize. It's hard to go into the deck without Bastion of Remembrance, so stinks that we didn't see a late one of those. And the Zenith Flare second, I do think it was right to take. We held on a little too long to the Cycling Dream, but we were getting the 1 CMC Cyclers, which normally is a sign that the cycling deck is open. And I do think this is still a very strong card in our deck. So we're like sort of a weird hybrid between both. I think we got a little unlucky to not get some late Whisper Squads, but maybe I'm just not giving enough credit to the drafting community on MTG Arena. But I do like this deck. We've got a snip of our deck now, so we will go off into the rounds and go forth and conquer, hopefully. So see you guys for round 1. All right, we are here for round 1 with a fine opener. We've got a lot of 1 CMC cyclers that we can cycle away. We've got 2 lands. Cathartic Reunion, once we find our mountain, is going to help smooth our hand out, so we are in good shape to keep here. Opponent went down to 6. I like seeing green on the other side of the battlefield. We're going to lead on plains here, and I think cycle away a Frostveil Ambush. Drannith Healer is a great find because that's going to let us curve into Night Squad Commando with an attacker, hopefully. Boom. Let's lead on Drannith Healer. We want to cast it rather than cycle it. Opponent's cycling away a Greater Sandworm. All right, that's fine. We can attack into that. That's nice seeing our engine card. This card, I think, is going to be very strong in our deck, especially if we ever get this in tandem with Weaponize the Monsters. I think that's just going to be a combo kill in most cases. So let's go land, combat, attack. Maybe our opponent might not even block if they're scared. I think you're supposed to block here as the opponent 100% of the time. So damage. And then let's play our Night Squad Commando. We will probably be cycling away this Imposing Vantasaur, just trying to dig for a mountain. Because again, we've got 3 very strong red cards in our hand right now. Survivor, wait, did they just cast that for nothing? Oh, they got back the Sandworm, sure. All right, so we found our mountain, that's pretty sweet. This is CMC 3, so we can't do anything about that right now. So I think we just cycle Vantasaur and see what we hit. Why did you tap my white mana? I wanted you to tap my swamp. All right, not punished. So let's play Bloodfell Caves. One thing I didn't really talk about is that we're playing 15 land in this deck in a very true 3-color deck, which is not something you would generally be able to do in a game of Magic the Gathering. But cycling, that's the other thing that's very powerful about those 1 CMC cyclers that we took highly, is that they let you lower your land count and they let you find the good cards in your deck way more often than you would be able to otherwise. All right, so opponent recycling that Greater Sandworm. So they essentially just cycled Survivor's Bond. Like they're spending a lot of mana to not accomplish a whole lot. So at this point, with the Farfinder down, that's cute. They're going to be able to make their Farfinder large. I guess we'll wait until their end step to cycle Easy Prey, but we are going to cycle this Easy Prey. Oh, the opponent tapped wrong, or they could have pumped either that or they've got a spell they want to hold up, but they still could have held up like white-red if they have something like Fire Prophecy. So we're going to cycle here, gain a life, draw. Bushmeat Poacher's big game, as is General Kudrow. Holy cow. So I think we play the General here and just start smashing. I get to exile a card from an opponent's graveyard. I did not know that was text on this card. Okay. I knew about the sack 2 humans, and I knew about the pumping the team. So I think we just jam here. And honestly, I think we're fine trading our human token off for their Farfinder, because that means they can't mutate next turn, and that means they can't pump it. So I think we swing with the team here. And if they want to double block here and let us push 6 damage, that's great for us. Okay. So there's a world where we Fire Prophecy this post-combat. There's also a world where we just Fire Prophecy this right now, because that means they can't mutate onto it. don't know what's right. I think I'm going to fire Prophecy the Keensight Mentor and ditch this Cathartic Reunion. I think that's what I want to do. And we could just wait. There's not a lot of great mutate cards in Naya. I think I'm going to kill this Keensight Mentor. And I'm actually going to not put anything in my library because this is flood insurance and we're going to be able to grind and get deeper into our deck with Bushmeat Poacher. So there is some... Oh, the opponent's done? All right. Victory. On to round 2. All right, we are back here for round 2 after our opponent conceding a little prematurely in round 1. And again, we are going to keep this hand. So we've got Drawnath Healer as a turn 2 play. We've also got Memory Leak to cycle to help dig us towards black sources. So I think all of that leads to this being a fine keep. We'll have to see over the course of these rounds if we get punished by our semi-sketchy mana base. And normally I would say our mana base is entirely sketchy, but I think the amount of cycling we have makes it okay. Those are some sweet card sleeves the opponent's got over there. Those are like lightsabers that are kind of going on. Magic the Gathering version of lightsabers. All right, they're leading with a Swamp and a Serrated Scorpion. So that probably, to me, tells me that there's some mutating going on there. And again, we're just happily going to cycle away this Frostveil Ambush. Found that Swamp, so we're going to be able to curve into General's Forcer, which is pretty strong. Boot Nipper. It's a good one. I assume they chose Death Touch. We will trade the General's Enforcer off for that, or I wonder if that means I'm just supposed to play Drawnath Healer because I'd rather trade Drawnath Healer off for that. It's interesting. Also, this is going to give General Kudro Indestructible. That's pretty boss. So, yeah, I think I actually want to play Drawnath Healer. Despite it being a slightly worse card, I'm much more excited about trading it off with a Boot Nipper if they want to attack into me. And it does hold back the Serrated Scorpion, snapping off this block. Another Boot Nipper, okay. So we could Memory Leak the opponent here, and that's kind of what I want to do, since they already... Did they mulligan, or are they just on the play? I don't remember. I don't want to see what's going on upstairs. All right, so we've got all of this stuff locked down pretty handily. I think I'm just going to take their Mythos. We've got Mutual Destructions for their Honey Mammoth, and I don't think we particularly care about Essence Symbiote. We do care about that. That is unfortunate that our opponent drew that. All right, so Checkpoint Officer and General's Enforcer, we're pretty far behind now, but not so far behind that we can't catch up. We'll be able to start tapping down the Grim Dancer. Awkward that we have both mana sinks. Yeah, it's tough. So we could just take 5 here. This is Death Touch Menace. It doesn't have lifelink. That's good news for us, I think, overall. I don't want to trade off with this Boot Nipper yet. I like both of these cards, although maybe that's just too greedy. If I block the Boot Nipper here, though, like this is going to hold back the Essence Symbiote. I think we just have to take it. All right, so we really need a way to draw some cards here. We can use this to block the Boot Nipper and take another hit from the Grim Dancer. That's actually the play. And then this Imposing Vantasaur is actually something I'm interested in casting. So let's get down this Triome as our first red source, and I think just pass. No need to play a Mutual Destruction here. And we're really going to try to leverage the token making ability of the General's Enforcer here. And to do this, we're going to have to take a hit on the noggin from Grim Dancer. But that's okay. We'll use our life total as a resource here. So they must not see this, or they must have a combat trick. Either way. Exile their boot nipper, submit. We get a 1/1 human, and we get a trade here. So this is a pretty great exchange for us. Opponent gets to push 3 damage, but at the cost of a card. The Almighty Schwag. That's actually kind of a problem. All right, Zenith Flare. We have 1, 2, 3 cards with cycling in our graveyard, so I think we just flare away this Grim Dancer, and then we're in pretty darn good shape. I guess we could wait. So we'll take it on the chin from the Brushwag. We can wait until they attack. The other thing we could do, although like they're just as likely to draw a land. There's no reason to not do this at instant speed, I think. So let's pass. The other thing we could do if they get cute and attack with a Schwag is block the Schwag, force them to spend their turn if we're worried they drew a card, but I think it's too important to get Grim Dancer off the battlefield. All right, so let's Zenith Flare here. Not taking any damage this turn is really important for us. Yeah, and the 3 life gain from the Zenith Flare, obviously. Another Grim Dancer? That's not ideal, except that we raised our life total a little bit. Ooh, that is sweet. Okay. Red, white, black creature card from your graveyard. So right now, Dranith Healer is the only thing we can get back. So I think we exile their Grim Dancer and just go ahead and destroy this Grim Dancer. So let's do that. Exile you, submit 1. Make a 1/1. So we're essentially turning these into our own 5-mana removal spell, which is a fine card. Destroy Grim Dancer, sacrifice you. And we'll potentially take it on the chin from the Brushwag. But I like where we're at right now against the opponent. We've really managed to stabilize against their good start. Yep, no blocks. Assume that means they either drew a land or another expensive card. They drew a land, okay. Honey Mammoth we've got under control. That's not a problem. That's interesting. So we would really like to be able to attack to turn that on. We also could just... We don't have good attacks unless we tap. Is it worth tapping to turn that on? I think it is, because that's going to hold back stuff. All right, so let's tap down the Essence Symbiote, and we'll just take it on the chin again from the Brushwag, and then I think we're going to be in great shape. This deck is oddly mana... Oh no, Benjamin! Oh, punt. That feels bad. All right. That's what I get for being in the habit of playing my spells pre-combat. Yikes. I don't think that's likely to cost us the game, though, is the good news. Okay, that for Brushwag is pretty sick. So, I actually think we mutually destroy this Honey Mammoth. Yeah, I think we mutually destroy Honey Mammoth with Night Squad Commando, and then we easy prey Brushwag, and then we're stable. And then we can do the thing and actually do the Night Squad Commando tech. So let's destroy this. Sacrifice you, submit. And then when the opponent goes to attack with a Brushwag, we can block, take their turn, so that even if they draw a spell, they probably can't play it. No attacks. All right, we'll tap down Symbiote here. Tempt them to attack with the Almighty Schwag. We've already told them we're a bad Magic player by our misplay with the Mutual Destruction. So maybe they'll take the bait here. All right, so time walking them is pretty good. I almost clicked cycling there. That would have been a disaster. All right. So now that we're stable, I think we play this land and get down Offspring's Revenge. Oh, we're never going to be able to trigger the commando. That's awkward. All right, so let's get down Drannith Healer, I guess. So that wasn't, I was picturing with the Night Quad commando that when we did the Offspring's Revenge that we were going to be able to trigger its claws. So no attacks, I think. And now that we've got the Offspring's Revenge, we're not afraid of any of these cards. Bristling Boar's fine. Ram through down the general, sure. We'll block here and take 2. That's not a big deal. I also could double block the Essence Symbiote. I don't hate that actually now that we've got the Offspring's Revenge. Because we're going to have Vantasaur to block their Bristling Boar. I think I do want to get that off the battlefield. No, I don't. Let's just do this. Let's block the Serrated Scorpion. Because they've got things to mutate onto if they want to mutate, and we've got the Tapper. Like, it doesn't matter if their mutate stuff is large. Let's play a 3/6 Vigilance, blank their whole board, go to combat, get back General Kudrow. And then we can start making some tokens from their graveyard as well. Like, we've got 3 creatures to exile over there to go wide. So you can sort of see how this deck plays out. And we don't even have, the crazy thing is, we don't even have a good version of this deck right now. Like, if you have a Bastion of Remembrance or 2 Bastion of Remembrance, this deck just goes really ham. We have sort of like a slightly, I would say this is maybe even an average version of the deck. Monstrous Step, that is unlucky for us. All right, that's going to make our lives quite a bit harder here. So we have to block there. And then I guess we double block. No, because we can't go, because this is going to die at some point. We really are in a bad spot. That was a really good top deck for our opponent. So I think the play is to just chump Bristling Boar and take 2 going to 4 so that we're not dead to Serrated Scorpion dying, which feels bad, but is not the absolute worst. This doesn't give it trample or anything, right? No. All right, so I think we do this. Durable Coil Bug. That is a sight for sore eyes. All right. Bug is good. And we just need a Bushmeat Poacher or something. So let's get this down. We have 6 mana. We do kind of want to play lands, but we also kind of want to hold lands. So that's an odd incentivization. I think I hold this land. I guess Cathartic Reunion is the only card in our deck right now that cares about us holding lands. Is that true? Just looking at the deck list. You can't see it right now on screen. Yeah, that's the only card in our deck that cares about us holding lands. I think I'm going to play this land. And then if we draw Cathartic Reunion, we can start holding lands after that. So let's pass. Because 7 mana also is the sweet spot for the Coil Bug. I think we get back Vantasaur first. It doesn't really matter. This has been quite a bit of tokens for us. So I think we tap down the boar here. And then next turn we start making humans with our General Kudrow. Cycling a Ketria Triumph, that's very powerful for the opponent. All right, so I think we hold that land. So let's pass. We'll get our 1/1 from the Offspring's Revenge. We're going to pray our opponent doesn't have the -1/-1 with cycling in their deck. So let's tap down the boar. So you can see how our deck's playing out now. We are stable. We got pretty unlucky with that monstrous step, or we would have really been in the driver's seat, but we still are doing fine here. So let's exile actually Honey Mammoth is the card I'm most scared of. We should keep like Back from the Grave or whatever it's called, the 4 black-green instant in mind. So the sooner we exile the large monsters out of our opponent's graveyard, the better. They have a Bushmeat Poacher. That's good on their end. Serrated Scorpion is an embarrassing draw at this point in the game, but we'll play it. And we'll pass. Nothing to do. Yep. That's scary if they find another Serrated Scorpion or something like that. We still have Zenith Flare? No, we used Zenith Flare early. Okay, that's fine. Doesn't matter, so let's tap the boar. Make a dude. Guess Grim Dancer's their next best card in their graveyard. And I think we chump attack with our Serrated Scorpion. They're not going to block. They're not going to block. They're not going to block. But it does start, I mean, it does start killing our opponent. We're not in danger of dying. All right, so we hold these lands, and I think we just say go. Could also start getting in with the Coil Bug. That's something to note. If we find our Bushmeat Poacher, we do have a lot of good draws in our deck to help stabilize our life total right now. So unless the opponent finds a way to deal burn to us, I do like our spot. This Checkpoint Officer is also coming back as a 1/1 if they ever deal with it. We've got Coil Bug to block the boar if we need to start tapping something else down. Excavation Mole. The Trample's kind of scary. So it does look like they have Back for More or something in there. Ooh, Coil Bug. So if they go to put that ability on the stack, we can respond by exiling it with the Enforcer. So that's sort of awkward. 1, 2, 3, 4. We only have 7 mana. So let's tap down the boar. And that means we won't, as long as they have 5 mana up, we can't make a token. Because we don't want to give them that value. So I think it's prudent on our part to start leaving back Serrated Scorpion now that they've got another threat. All right, so we just say go. Our turn. Play a land now. Guess we play a black. And we pass. Nope, not pass, because we want to respond to that. No attacks. Two, three, four, five. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I actually want to, I still want to tap down the boar, I guess. We'll let them attack. Excavation moles coming in with the trample damage. All right, so let's block like this, I think. And they're going to kill my coil bug, which is fine. We could also... yeah, this is the way to block. They might just sacrifice it, honestly. Yeah. Resolves. And so they have to weigh keeping up 5 mana for their coil bug here versus casting spells that they might draw. Still have that 5 mana open. That's unfortunate for us. We have 8 lands in place. We're going to need to get to 10 lands before we can tap down and double exile. Like if we go to exile it, they activate the ability and then we could exile in response. Holy Flood. All right, let's pass the turn. We're starting to get into the danger zone here as far as our opponent having a critical mass of attackers. Weaponize the monsters would be huge here. All right, cycling another land is big game for them. We're still going to tap down the Bristling Boar rather than the Grim Dancer. Ooh, all right, that's great for us because that means we get to exile their coil bug. So let's do that now. That makes our lives a lot better. This is a marathon of a game. So we want to tap down the Bristling Boar. Submit. I'd say we're doing fine for ourselves here. Ooh, Fire Prophecy. That's a good one. So we are going to play a land here. And I think Fire Prophecy, I guess we shouldn't. Fire Prophecy is actually kind of bad. Well, they've got Bushmeat Poacher up, so let's just pass. We are doing the thing that you want to do. They only have 8 cards left in their deck. All right, we might deck our opponent. That would be my first natural decking of the format. Let's tap down. I still think Bristling Boar is the tap. Getting in with the Draft, huh? All right, so what I want to do, I guess, is line them up. 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. And I can only kill 2 things. And they're giving us another 1/1 back. I don't think this is great for the opponent. All right, pass to damage. Yes, please. I think that was a good exchange for us. The opponent's just getting frustrated, maybe. I think rather than exiling one of their things, we want to rebuy our coil bug. Our turn. Okay, eventually we're going to find Weaponize the Monsters, and it is going to be a force to be reckoned with. So let's do that. Let's play a Forbidden Friendship. And pass the turn. Duskfang Mentor. Put a lifelink counter on target non-human creature you control. Okay, that's scary. We're probably going to just have to bite the bullet and Fire Prophecy, whatever they put the counter on. I guess not even really. Because we have a million chumps. I don't think we're worried about that. Let's tap down the boar. Submit. Black, white. See what they want to attack with. All right, our turn. Honestly, we do also have the out of if our opponent tries to kill us, we can fire Prophecy our own Serrated Scorpion. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Let's exile. Wait, where's their 3/5? Oh, there it is. That. We have a million 1/1s to make from the opponent's side of the battlefield. This card has been impressive. All right, there we go. Now you're going to see what the deck's all about. Monsters have been weaponized. So let's sack. Targeting you. Submit. Oh, baby, let's go. That concession feels so good. The grind. All right, we are back here for round 3 with an amazingly good hand. We got all the lands, we got good cards, we've got our engine. Opponent is mulliganing. That's unfortunate for them. So we are 2-0. This is round 3. For anybody that's keeping track at home. Leading with the Scoured Barons. And again, I just want to reiterate that we have an average version of this deck. And you saw how powerful our grinding was last game. So I actually, do we want to play Drannith Healer or Forbidden Friendship? I kind of want to lead with Forbidden Friendship because we get in 1 more point of damage. Playing Black's always going to be worrisome for this deck. Ooh, that is going to be some easy prey. Snap that off right there. Rip General Kudrow. That card's very good against our deck. And I think we actually hold on to this Triome. It's unlikely we're going to get punished for doing that. There's a possibility we'll miss a land drop 1 turn, but I like the upside of potentially cycling it away. Although we did see that our deck was pretty mana hungry last game in those games that go long. Uh-oh, opponent's on the same plan and they have the better card for it. That's going to be tough to beat. Okay. Let's see what they've got going on upstairs. Whoa. Okay. So Blade Banish is terrible against us. Mythos is very good against us. And Coilbug's also very good against us. I almost want to kill this Coilbug. But I don't think we should. We have our general to potentially deal with that. I think the Mythos is too scary. And then I think we jam in here while the jamming's good and play our Triome. They're going to trade happily. But just keeping their board small while they have Coordinated Charge in hand is good for us. Coilbug blanks our whole team. All right, so I guess let's start by cycling this with a red. Might be on the Zenith Flare plan this game. I'm going to hold that land for now. I guess that's not good. Bastion's going to be so tough to beat. Ooh, them cycling that away is good for us, I think, over the course of a longer game. That's the right choice by them. That card's dead for right now. Night Squad Commando. Is it worth attacking in here? to get that down with a token? I think so. And then we'll be able to play Offspring's Revenge and get back the Drannith Healer, because that's almost assuredly what they're doing. So let's smash, play our card correctly this game. Play a commando. We'll hold on to this land for a turn. No, because they can't possibly mutate Cavern Whisperer. That's always the card I think of when I play against black that you want to hold lands for. Gloom Pangolin. Yeah, shields are up over there. It's going to be a hard game to win. All right, regretting playing that land. So, no point. Creature you control dies. So maybe we push here. They can eat, take 4. Is that good enough? Their stuff's not gonna die. I really wish our deck had a coordinated charge. That's something I've not played this deck before, but I've seen screenshots of it from our Lords of Limited Discord. So that's something worth keeping in mind for the future. I think the answer is no attacks yet. I think the answer is no attacks yet. Zenith Flare. All right, that's a plan. So that kind of makes me want to jam here. Because this dying puts them at 12. It's too early to go all in like that. We're under no pressure. The opponent's under no pressure. This deck is going to lead to some long, grindy games for sure. You're going to get your value out of this YouTube video. All right, that's a good draw, because we just want, like, not a good draw, but whatever. We're fine drawing that because we have Cathartic Reunion in hand. So let's pass. Opponent lamenting this Blade Banish in their hand. I don't think we have a single target in our deck for that. No, we don't have any targets in our deck for that. Feels good, man. What is happening? That's the Liger? I don't care about that, do I? No, don't care about that at all. That resolves. So they'll have a 3/4 Coil Bug, and this will get +1/+1 until end of turn. Go nuts, opponent. Knock yourself out. If they want to start getting on the offensive and we get in chip damage, that's great for us. Also just thrilled to chump with Serrated Scorpion. All right, so we will Cathartic Reunion now, pitching our 2 lands, 1, 2. Hopefully this finds us some action. More lands and a Drana Stinger. Okay. We'll play out Drana Stinger and we'll play out a land now. No reason not to hold only 1 land. Still think no attacks. As long as the opponent doesn't have a way to gain life other than Bastion of Remembrance, I think we're going to be okay here. Bushmeat Poacher. That is very good for us. Pass. I'm going to keep this land against Cavern Whisperer to protect our Zenith Flare. That's terrifying. Okay. So that is going to incentivize them to attack, though. I don't even know if that's good for them. Yeah. Smart of the opponent there, I think, to not attack. So let's... I think we do this main phase. Because then we get the Scorpion back off Offspring's Revenge. And if we hit something, like otherwise we're wasting a lot of mana here, potentially. General's Enforcer, that's a good one. So let's play that, and then we can start making some tokens. Get back a Scorpion. Deck is humming along. Rude. Let's exile their General's Enforcer. But I honestly think they should have killed our Bushmeat Poacher there. Bushmeat Poacher is more of a threat to them than our General's Enforcer. I think they're just very dead now to an all-out swing. Cycle that. Yeah, opponent's quite dead here. Play a land, go to combat. All attack. This is just Xaxes. Didn't even need to Zenith Flare. Feels bad, man. All right, we are here for round 4. We're currently 3-0, and we are going to keep this hand. Got all our mana, get some cyclers, some early defense, and we've got our engine. We are going to, I think, cycle Go for Blood away here. Opponent's on red-white. That's a little scary. All right, Drain of Stinger's a nice draw. Let's play that as a 2/2. Ooh, opponent on the Mardu life as well. Main to Serval. So we can easy pray that. We're going to start here by memory leaking them and see what's going on upstairs. Ruinous Ultimatum? No, thank you. Opponent went deep. They've got an island as well in their Ruinous Ultimatum deck and double pacifism. No attacks from us. And we will easy pray that and then force them to use a pacifism on our Stinger, which we don't care about at all. I sort of feel like we've already won. It's a little early to declare that. So let's easy pray that. And smash it in for 2. Question is, our opponent going to be greedy and not pacify my Drain of Stinger? That'll be interesting to see from their perspective. Like, they might be thinking, I can afford to take 2 from this from a few turns, but the reality is every 2 points of damage we get in with Drain of Stinger is very good for us. That's fine. Good play from the opponent. Good discipline. Cathartic Reunion. So I think we just, we're really not in a hurry. Except the opponent looks like they're going later than us. So we could pitch Tentative Connection and Swamp here. I think I'm going to wait one more turn. Because if the opponent plays something and we fire Prophecy, we can ditch the land that way. Like we really need to not flood out here. All right, there we go. Max value, which is good. I think we go red, honestly. No, we want to hold up Fire Prophecy. So 2 drops. I think we have more stuff that wants white early. So let's Cathartic Reunion, pitch. All right, those are some cards. Play Adraneth Healer. And play the land, I think. Opponent not pacifying our Adraneth Healer. Play General Kudro, smash in, exile their main Serval, combat, attack. So we are well on our way to victory here. Our card advantage is just through the roof. Sure, don't care. So let's actually, we could just hit them for 11 here. I don't think that's worth it yet. Let's just sack our Draenus Stinger. Targeting you, sacrificing you, submit. Get in 6. And say go. Opponent's sadly looking at that pacifism in their hand, wondering which of our creatures to pacify. Cathartic Reunion. Blade Banish. We have dodged the old Blade Banishes. Okay. Liger, sure. So we'll wait a turn. We'll just get down Bushmeat Poacher as a sack outlet here. And exile Cloud Piercer. Actually, we don't want to exile their creatures because we want to leave the creatures for our General's Enforcer. That's kind of odd. Sadly mousing over their pacifism again. So you see why we have Snare Tactician as the top white common over pacifism. Ooh, Sanctuary Smasher, that's a good one. We'll take that. Sadly mousing over the pacifism again. Mousing over the Bushmeat Poacher, seeing what's going to happen. I imagine a head explosion coming, no? All right. So we swing all here, just because if we push the other 2 damage, the opponent's dead because of weaponize the monsters in hand. Oh, I guess we just actually had them dead if they had to chump. If we didn't sack their Sanctuary Smasher, I don't know. The opponent's dead, like 6 ways to Sunday here. We're not necessarily doing it the most efficient way, I suppose. Sacrifice you, gain 4, draw a card. Sure. Opponent's going to fire off pacifism. We're going to weaponize whatever they pacify. Got him. All right, we are here for round 5, sitting at 4-0 with another good opener that we are going to keep. We have been running very well with our mana, but I don't think our mana is bad. Our mana is passable, and we've been running above average with passable mana, I think. So we're going to Forbidden Friendship here and make our opponent pretty sad. It's a hard counter to the old boot nipper. Excavation mole's good. They have a Deadeye in the bin. I think we start by cycling Frostveil Ambush away. And then playing a Draenith Healer. Nice that we drew Mutual Destruction. That's some insurance. I do plan to double block this Excavation Mole if the opponent wants to make that trade. Actually, the human's more valuable than the dinosaur. Normally it's the other way around because you have mutate, but we don't have any mutate in our deck, and we do have the General Kudra. All right, so we're trading there. Drawing Zenith Flare is nice and comforting. So I think we cycle away this Go for Blood with a mountain. Knight, Squad, Commando. That's a good one. So let's make sure we attack first. So we're in pretty good shape here at the moment. We don't really care what the opponent's doing right now. So let's go Knight, Squad, Commando. I just want to reiterate, like, you see how well our deck's playing out doing its thing. This is not a good version of the deck. If you have Bastion of Remembrance or the Squad, you know, if you have 3 or 4 Squad Commandos or whatever that card's called, Whisper Squad, that's what it's called. Lead the Stampede is terrifying. They only hit 1 creature. All right, that's great for us. Unfortunately, Blitzleech killing one of our dudes is not ideal. So we just pass here. And we will probably be getting Blitzleeched. But we're going to play this Imposing Vantasaur out because it holds down the opponent's team pretty nicely. Chittering Harvester. Okay, that's fine. If they ever get a mutate onto that again, we lose. That's scary. I think I'm supposed to trade with this boot nipper here. And just assume they don't have another way to mutate onto the Chittering Harvester. Kind of want to just mutually destroy that right now. And we'll take the 2-for-1 on ourselves. Because that's just in such danger of completely locking us out of the game. And then theoretically, Vantasaur should be able to hold down their team. And if they're greedy, they might not even play anything if they don't have other action. So we have to hope they don't have... They might be grindier than we are, which would be impressive. We have to hope they don't have, you know, like return to creatures, like a human and a non-human from your graveyard to your hand. Like we would just insta-concede to that card at this point in the game. So we might be getting outground here. Rebuy on the old Coil Bug. So we need to find our rare Mardu enchantment, and we need to find our General's Enforcer. Both of those cards are very strong against our opponent. Don't, no. All right, well, that's not good for the home team. Checkpoint Officer is gonna die to that. I don't know why I just slammed that. Not ideal. Probably needed to just Zenith Flare this Blitz Leech. This is probably greedy on my part, not playing the planes. It's not good for us either. All right, Blitz Leech down. Opponent's got a 3/3 Menace Death Touch. We should be at 17 life here. Embarrassing. Top deck, we're holding these two lands because of Cathartic Reunion. All right, maybe creeping back in it. Maybe. So we should be at 11 life, so that punt there might be costing us because this Coil Bug is gonna keep coming back and getting in here. Oh no. Rip. All right, we are here for round 6 with a great hand that we are going to keep. We're sitting at 4-1 right now. Opponent also keeps. We're going to lead off with a Scoured Barrens and see what they are up to. Our turn 2 play is going to be General's Enforcer here, almost assuredly. Just because it's a better attacker. Mained Serval. That is going to be some easy prey. And some food for our Enforcer. One of the coolest things about this deck, I think, is that you don't need Blood Curdle. Like, Mutual Destruction is just a good card in your deck. So let's cycle that with a red. And I think we're going to take this turn to get down Checkpoint Officer. Play a land, play a Checkpoint Officer. And then next turn we can exile plus Mutual Destruction if we want to. Opponent gaining 3 is not ideal here. Okay. That's kind of terrifying. There are a lot of cool combos where you make that thing large and scary. So let's exile you, submit 1. And I think we blow up the Splendor Mare. And then if they use a spell to make this large or something, we still have mutual destruction for that, and we can hold it down with Checkpoint Officer. Opponent looks like they might be choked on lands. This format is sweet. I'm glad I was able to show you guys this deck, because it's not a super obvious archetype, and I do think it's a very good archetype, especially while people are fighting over the cycling deck and the mutate deck. Call the Death Dweller on Splendormere. Sure. That's a bummer that they were able to do that with us having a General's Enforcer. Do I want to mutual destruction that? I think so. Let me just sack a Serrated Scorpion here. And we get in. I think it's more important for us to get in for 3 damage than it is to tap down the Caprador. Are they going to mutate here or just play it? Okay, they just played it. I was going to say mutating doesn't make much sense. Weaponize the monsters. All right, let's put that down. And then I think we'll just hold up the exile. Get Splendormere on out of there. So really all we need to do now is find our Mardu enchantment, and we're in business. This is an aggressive attack from them, so presumably they're following up with a large monster. No large monster, okay. Okay. So Mardu enchantment's our best draw, not close right now. Guess we kill this Vulpikeet. I kind of want to wait until I've got a land in hand though. So I think we just attack, hold up Checkpoint Officer, and say go. Let's tap down the Vulpikeet. I guess maybe we want to tap that down because they could mutate onto it. Solid footing. That's fine. We'll take 4 this turn. We can't fire Prophecy. Yep. Don't think that matters. All right, we found the land, so let's fire Prophecy the Vulpikeet right now, I think. Put the swamp in our library. Play a Drannith Healer. Oh, that means we're going to take a 4 again. I don't know that that was good. That's fine. I think we care about getting the opponent's life total lower more than we do protecting our own life total right now. That's going to be fine and dandy until they find a large monster. I would suspect with as aggressively as they killed the general. Oh, not attacking? Okay, I'm in for that. We drew lands. We will play the land here and I think play Imposing Vantasaur since the opponent chose not to attack us. So Checkpoint Officer should really start to be able to take over this game at this point. I wonder what they're holding in hand. Removal? They have their own Vantasaur. Duel of the Dinos. That means they probably... Ooh. I think at this point in the game, we cycle this Easy Prey. And I think we just say go. All right, let's tap down the Caprador. Our opponent's almost dead. What is this attack? They have their own vigilance thing. They have another solid footing. So if they do that, they can either kill 2 of these. I think that's a good deal for us. I think we triple block here. Because we do have a weaponize activation up. Spontaneous flight. So we have to sacrifice Checkpoint Officer here, or we could just say they used spontaneous flight. Oh, but it's gonna have a flying counter on it. That's pretty bad for us actually. So do we want to sacrifice Checkpoint Officer to kill this? I guess we can decide at the end of combat. I think so. Oh, wow. Okay. So our Vantasaur is going to die. We just lose everything here. So we target your face. No, we don't lose everything. Let's not panic. We're fine. I just don't kill it. I should have sacked a creature there, though, right? Because they had already ordered blockers. I was thinking they were going to kill my Vantasaur. That was bad. The most durable of coil bugs. So we really are still okay here. I did not do that well. Our opponent should be at 11, so we'll see if that's relevant. I didn't realize they'd already ordered blockers. So we're going to tap down their Vigilance Flyer. They're doing 4, we're doing 5. Did they top deck? That would be bad for us. No top decks. Okay, so our turn. I think we're winning this race pretty handily. General Kudra is nice. I guess we exile a Vulpiki because they've shown us they do have reanimate stuff. Combat, smash. And they're literal Dobbs right now. Let's tap down the Vantasaur. Tap down the Caprador. Smash. Get you dead? All right. Boom. Checkpoint Officer did some work that game. All right, we are here for round 7. We're sitting at 5-1 currently against an Umori the Collector Companion. So all creatures in the opponent's deck. Let's keep a very good hand. Gonna lead with Bloodfell Caves. And I think we get down the general here. And then next turn we can play Mountain and go Stinger Weaponize. Mosscoat Goriak, sure. Play Stinger, play a Weaponize, and they're almost assuredly going to play Umori. But we don't have to worry about combat tricks really, which is nice. So I think we just happily double block here. I think that's a good deal for us. Kill my Drana Stinger. Wow, somebody's been playing against cycling and has some respect. That was almost certainly a mistake from our opponent there. So let's play land and say go. Umori down. We will soon be able to tentative connection sack with weaponize the monsters. I think we just take 4 on the chin here if the opponent wants to attack. No blocks. Every creature being a mana cheaper is kind of terrifying. Yeah, that's really powerful. All right, apparently their hand, does that mean their hand is all lands, or they just have so many large monsters in their hands? Let's hope it's not so many large monsters in their hand. All right, so we take Umori here. Oh, we need another land? That's awkward. We don't have a creature with menace, and this is 2 as a sack outlet. That's a bummer. All right, so let's play Scoured Barrens, I suppose. And we can exile our Drana Stinger, but that makes our Zenith Flare worse. Huh. All right, we will pass for right now. Or should I should attack with the General's Enforcer? I should attack with the General's Enforcer. We're not. Well, I don't know that we can afford to take 6, honestly. Yeah, it's fine. And then we can like block sack with our token on the coil bug. Or honestly, we could block sack and go face. I wonder if that's the play. And try to get them low enough to get a Zenith Flare win. Uh-oh, gain land. If they don't... Oh. That's terrifying. That's not good for us. So... yeah, we gotta kill the coil bug. Gotta kill the coil bug. Sacrifice you. And then we take 4 here. That's okay. So we go down to 14. And then we could exile their coil bug right now, which I think it's prudent to do. We're going to take some damage to do it, but I think that's a cost worth paying. So let's get the coil bug down. And then the question is, what do we value here? Like, do we value throwing a thing at the opponent's head, or do we value getting Serrated Scorpion on the battlefield? I think we value the ability to sacrifice at the opponent's head and take 4 from the Cavern Whisperer. No, I think I want Serrated Scorpion on the battlefield, and then I think we take 8 here, I think is the line, because the opponent can't drain us out with no spells in their deck. So their deck's gonna be very one-dimensional. Hopefully they don't have removal here. The Greatest of Sandworms? Well, guess we know what we're tentative connectioning. So I do think we need to chump, which is kind of a bummer. This deck needs some menace creatures. So it seems like they probably just have a hand of large monsters. We could potentially steal a win, though. So we're going to do this. Target you. Combat. Attack you down to 10. Yeah, attack you down to 10. And then our plan is to block, just chump with a Serrated Scorpion, I guess. That's kind of sad. So damage, and then we throw the Sandworm at their face down to 8. Targeting you. Sacrificing you. Opponent's got to be a little worried about dying here. We don't have to worry about back for more or anything like that. That's so bad for us. Oh no. Lifelink counter? Are you kidding me? Ay, ay, ay. All right, so let's block here. Or do I just have to take 8? Because we really might have to sack 2 things to kill that Cavern Whisperer. I think I take 8. It's more important. Oh, Lord. Stop with the creatures. Okay. We need to find bone splinters. The most mana efficient way to do that, I guess we get deeper if we cycle, and then reunion. So let's go red, cycle. All right, we found it already. That was good for the home team. So unfortunately we're at 2. That has a reach counter on it. So we need this to have flash, but we can't do that. All right, so let's exile a thing. I think is our best line. Let's exile this. blow up the Cavern Whisperer, sacrificing this. And we're going to be at 1 at the end of all this. So our plan is to no attacks, chomp, block. Oh no, we'll die. We have to, oh, because we'll die with a trigger on the stack. I needed to sack Serrated Scorpion and chump with the 1/1. That was a really big punt. All right, so let's chomp. That was a game-losing punt. Wow. Okay. So we chump. And the opponent's going to play some more large monsters. Companion too strong. Yep, large monsters everywhere. All right, let's chain some cyclers together. Whoa. All right, we can Zenith Flare for 4. That's not enough. Yeah, we're dead. Guess we ought to Cathartic Reunion and see what we see. Don't think we have anything that gets us out of this. Forbidden Friendship's close. All right, we are here for round 8 at 5 and 2. Backs are against the wall. I think this is a keep on the draw. Our hand does a big bunch of nothing right now, but we've got good draws. We actually lead on, we want to lead on a Swamper of Plains because we've got black, white, gold card we could draw. Opposing Vantasaur, sure. Night Squad Commando's a little awkward. I think, I'm trying to decide whether I want to cycle this Vantasaur or hold it. I think I want to hold it against black-red. See what they do here. They have their own commando. Naked Commando. We're about to do the same, opponent. Serrated Scorpion. I still think we need to get down this commando. We'll block if they attack. Everybody's casually mousing over Weaponize the Monsters. I don't think this card sees a lot of play, and I think it's very powerful. Cathartic Reunion. That is a sight for sore eyes. So I think we cathartically reunion away these 2 lands and just see what's up. Because we've already got all our colors. Yeah, that's some action. All right, so Serrated Scorpion down, and let's say go. No attacks. Another Mardu mirror, interesting. So if they attack, we'll just block with the Night Squad Commando again. Satiable Hemophage, 3/3 Death Touch. That's fine. So I think we cycle away this Vantasaur. Like that. Tentative Connection. And I think we play Dranith Healer. And I think we just take it on the chin from Insatiable Hemophage for a little bit. Until we decide like that we want to get enough mana to Tentative Connection plus Weaponize. A little unfortunate that we pitched 2 lands and now we're choked on mana. So it's 4 cards in a row with no lands. I mean, not unheard of, but a little unlucky. Opponent's cycling away a Savai Crystal. That's good for them because they are doing plenty fine over there on mana sources. That is terrifying. Why didn't they mutate that? Because they don't have white. All right, that needs to die stat. So what does that mean for us? I think that means we mutually destruction it with a serrated scorpion. So destroy you, sacrifice you. Two for wanting ourselves, but that's okay, I think, to deal with our opponent's bomb, and then playing a checkpoint officer and passing the turn. I'm surprised the opponent didn't attack us with a hemophage. Bloodfell Caves is fine. Now they're getting aggressive. Let's block here. If they don't have a follow-up play, that was very good for us. So we'll have to see here. They're thinking. That's annoying, but not the worst. So what do we want to do? Does that have a lifelink? No, it has vigilance. So we could take that and hit them for 9 here down to 10. And then they're very much in danger of dying. I wonder if that's worth it. We will take 9 on the crackback down to 10, but if they do that, we're just so choked on mana is the thing. Could also tap it down and get in for 4. Play a Drana Stinger. I don't hate that. I don't love it. Putting in the 15 seems not good enough. I kind of want to cycle Drana Stinger here and see if we can hit a land. We did. All right, that's good news for the home team because now we have the option next turn of like tentative connectioning plus sacking something. And we get a play. No, we don't because we didn't hit a plains. So what do we want to do here? Do we want to tap or do we want to get down General's Enforcer? I kind of want to tap and incentivize them to attack us, I think, and get in for 4. This is a pretty aggressive line and could backfire. But I think we're far enough behind now that it's okay. And we really do kind of want to incentivize our opponent to race, especially if we rip a land off the top with tentative connection. Like we could just put a gigantic hurting on the opponent. Worst case scenario for us, they play 2 blockers here. And even then, we can shift from offense to defense very easily here. I think. Fingers crossed. I guess this having vigilance makes this line a little worse because they're going to have that as a blocker. So, and actually, that was a bad line. I forgot that had vigilance. Checkpoint Officier. All right, not a bad line. So I think we just kill that with our checkpoint officer or our Drannith healer. So if we kill it with our... we hit them for 8 down to 7. It doesn't really matter whether it's 7 or 8 because it's the same math for weaponize. But I think we're going to be using all of our mana, and we're choked on white. We want to play this General's Enforcer. I think we sack the checkpoint officer to kill theirs. Target you, sacrifice you, boom. Whoa. That's a card. Doesn't get us through the Auracorn, though. Huh. We could just play that and hold, though. That seems pretty strong. Wishing, I guess not wishing. All right, let's get this Cub Warden out of here. And pass. So the opponent's very much in danger of dying here. They probably aren't thinking they're in danger of dying. Worst case for us here is that they've got a removal spell for General Kudrow. So we just sacrifice Kudrow and Drannith Healer here to kill their Auracorn, I think. One, two. So that was fine for us. We traded 2 for 2 there. No blocks. Also good for us that the opponent's not pressing. So I think we just want to play General's Enforcer here. Stinks that we're choked on white. Yeah. I think we just go land General's Enforcer. And that's honestly, like, it's amazing, though, that this is the first time our mana's really bit us in the butt. And we pass. Bushmeat Poacher. That's a scary one. I assume they're going to attack us with a Hemophage again. So sacrifice another creature. No blocks. Our life total is actually pretty healthy thanks to Zenith Flare also. Go for blood. We could... Oh, you don't have enough mana to do all that. I was going to say we could take this and have it fight Bushmeat Poacher, but that doesn't quite kill it. That is a sick blowout down the road, potentially, though. So, what's the play here? We could just exile from our opponent's graveyard. Them having Bushmeat Poacher to turn off tentative connection shenanigans is no good. I think here's what I want to do. We take their Bushmeat Poacher. Go to combat. Attack them with it. And attack them here. Honestly, I kind of want to attack them with all 3. That's a little aggressive. But I don't really want to block. I mean, we die to a mutate if that's the case. Are we willing to say we die to a mutate? I don't think so. So let's attack like this. No blocks from them, sure. Oh, we still die to a mutate. Sacrifice this. Die to a mutate or a haste here. Or a removal spell. That was actually a really bad line. Yeah, I'm terrible. Oh, sorry about that, YouTube. I don't know what I was thinking there. I played that game wrong. I don't know what else to say other than that. So, Thank you very much for watching. That was a cool deck I think you guys got to check out there. So hopefully you learned something from the draft and seeing that deck in action. And again, we had a very average version of that deck. If you get the good versions with Bastion, it's very easy to grind and just kill your opponent with Bastion and weaponize the monsters. So we didn't have the Whisper Squad package. So a lot of things to think about there when you draft in the future. And hopefully you see that the 1-mana cyclers are just powerful in a vacuum, even though we got cut out of the cycling deck. So thank you very much again for watching. If you've enjoyed, please click that like button, subscribe, leave a comment in the comment section. Please don't tear me up about that last game too much. And see you next time for another video of Ikoria Draft. Thanks for watching.